Good morning, party people, party people, party people. Welcome to the Breakdown Podcast.
That's going to be our intro song. Welcome to the Breakdown Podcast.
As a vocalist, you suck.
Yeah, it's also not very metal, is it?
Yeah, well, yeah. We're heavy dudes that like other things. That's why we listen to so much pop music. There's been a lot of requests coming in for a podcast. We've talked about doing it for a while. The big reason for waiting, we wanted that.
Because it looks fancy.
It does look fancy.
We know you guys like fancy.
Yeah, we like to keep it fancy. There's been so much music coming out. So the whole purpose of this long form thing for us was just to discuss a bit more in detail all the stuff that's come out, because there's so many good singles that come out, but then there's the other stuff in the album that we talk about that it just takes too much time to
go over. We've had so many people that just, you guys want album track reactions and live song reactions and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We just don't have time to shoot that many videos because, as you know, we like to keep the channel diverse because we like dynamics.
We do like dynamics. And I don't want to spend too much time with Johnny.
Well, now you're going to spend more.
Yeah, I know. I've really thrown myself in the deep end here. So this is October in review.
Yeah. Yeah, we were going to, when we started talking about this thing, we were going to do September, but it's taken us a little bit to get this sort of going, and September had so many albums, and then we figured,
locked down because we lived in Australia.
Yeah.
So we're only just out of things now.
Yeah, for sure. And we figured that to go through all the albums that came out in September
That other month, yeah.
September and October, by the time we got this going, was just going to be way too long. And even though you guys say you want more, come on, you don't want that much more.
If this is something that you guys like, make sure to share it around. Obviously, these longer form videos are going to be a little bit more, in depth. So if you're enjoying it, please do share, like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And then we will be looking at putting this to an audio only format as well. If you guys want to listen while driving or training or whatever it is you want to do.
Maybe we might even, depending on how it goes, maybe it might be cool to have like a little segment where every week we pick a couple of listeners or viewers song suggestions, whether it's old ones, live ones, something like that, and then we can listen to it in our own time and give it a bit of a a score.
I'm down for that. Or we put headphones on and they can just watch us listen to it, but don't hear it.
Yeah.
It's just our reactions with no noise.
And they have to guess if we're actually listening to
that
song.
Or guess the song. That'd be horrible.
That'd be great.
So let's start with October. Or do you want to touch on September first?
Let's just rattle off a couple of the bands. I made a quick list. We made a quick list of what came out in September.
Yeah.
Look, for me, the huge ones were definitely Thrice, Spirit Box, Turnstile, and Sleep Token.
Yeah.
But then obviously we had other bands that we discovered and Trash Boat as well. But then Beartooth, Kenny Hoopla was a new discovery. There was just so much. John Mayer was a nice sneaky one we enjoyed.
Oh man, I loved that album.
Sob Rock?
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so chill.
I actually probably listened to Sob Rock more than the other albums on there.
I think I went through a period of listening to that as well because I was, because we were in lockdown and there was not much to do. I was doing long walks along the beach and it was just the
so romantic by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, even I wanted to break up with me though. It was just the perfect album to just take a nice stroll along the beach, the wind blowing through my hair, the waves crashing. It was very picturesque.
He's trying to get you to visualize this right now. The album I didn't listen to anywhere near as much as you'd expect, Spirit Box.
Why?
I think there was just so... Because that came out... There's 4 albums came out in that day.
Yeah, that was Spirit Box, Idola, Thrice, and... Sleep Token.
All came out the same day.
Huge.
And I listened to it through once, fully, went to the other albums, and then because we're doing so much at the moment in terms of reactions, like we're doing 2 a day, I actually haven't had that much time to go through and listen to full albums unless I was dedicating it in training. And because it's a heavier album... Like if I was training with Lane, my business partner, he doesn't like heavy music as much. So I was like, I'll put on something that's a bit more accessible.
Yeah.
So I'd rather listen to something else for that. So
what you're saying is Lane should just really toughen up a little bit.
I'm trying to get to it, yeah.
Sorry, Lane.
Beating around the bush. No, but I also think because we reacted and because they released so many singles. You'd already listened to half the album.
That was my issue with the album. And I think that's why I only listened to it the whole way through, start to finish recently. And I've listened to it a little bit more because obviously, like, my kids enjoy it. Alaska loves it because it's heavy music with a girl singing.
Yeah.
So she can sing along a lot easier than...
Scream along.
Yeah.
Great.
And I think that was one of the things that turned me off originally was they'd released so many singles, and I'd listened to them quite a lot, that those songs came on, I'm like, oh, I know this one, skip.
Yeah.
I know this one, skip, because I just wanted to get to the rest. Can we touch on a little bit of a controversial topic with that album, though?
Your
Quickly?
least favourite song is the one with Sam Carter? Yellow Jacket?
I wouldn't say it's my least favourite, but I don't think it's as hyped as everyone made it out to be.
It's because it was Sam Carter and people were like, it's Sam, it's Courtney. It was just an Architect song.
Yeah.
Courtney barely featured in that song.
And she had that vocal effect. I would have liked to hear them interweave and...
100%. Yeah, that's... I also, because everyone had been talking it up and hyping up, hey, it's on the album, you're going to love it. And I was not disappointed in it, but I think it could have been executed better. For a feature that big.
For sure. And I think we probably had a certain expectation as well, which is
the
not
problem
their
is,
fault.
stop hyping it up, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Stop
They've
talking
already
about
gone.
it.
They had, what? It's the least favourite song? Unsubscribe, smash the computer, burn all their photos of me they've got hanging on the wall.
Thank God they've got a lot of photos of you. I keep sending them to people when they ask.
Do you have any photos of Johnny photoshopped to look like a small pigeon?
Yes, I do. Here's
Yeah,
what
I
have
received
to say.
quite a few of those the other day. Well done, boys. Thanks, McGee. Good job. Yeah, so all right, what was your top album to come out of September then?
Sleep Token.
Nice.
That album banged. The whole thing. His voice is just so haunting, and I feel like the peaks and troughs of that album were just in all the right spots.
It was way less guitar heavy than the one before.
Yeah, there's a lot more electronic stuff in it, but
Softer stuff. But it works.
it worked
I like
so
it.
well. Yeah, I think because we did touch on those, like that one. I can't remember the name of the song right now, where it's almost all vocals, just layered vocals.
Fall for me or Fall on Me?
Fall for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, that song was stunning.
amazing.
So I think knowing that leading into it, I was already kind of ready for that vibe, and I really enjoyed it there.
Yeah, totally.
So, you
Thrice.
didn't listen to it.
I know you didn't.
I listened to the 2 songs you made me.
Yeah, I'd actually like you to listen to that album just so you can hear, again, the peaks and troughs that they do.
Yeah.
And there's some moments on that album that they sort of touch on that heavier side of Thrice, which is
Yeah.
nice to hear. For me, it was all about it just being so much better than the last album.
Yeah, okay.
There was a bit more excitement about it. There was a few more bigger riffs. The production was heaps better. So yeah, I was just, Thrice is always going to be a hard one to beat for me unless it was the last album. But I was also super pleasantly surprised by Beartooth.
See, I wasn't. Not pleasantly surprised, but I was just expecting that to bang because of how many singles came out that were all phenomenal.
Oh, so you weren't disappointed?
Not at all. I loved
okay,
it.
cool.
I
Yeah,
loved that.
yeah.
I listened to that album a heap.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily surprised by that. I was just expecting it, and they delivered. The album I was super surprised with, and because I never listened to them, Turnstile.
Oh, yeah,
Glow
for sure.
was
Yeah.
such a good album
Yeah.
from start to finish, and because you showed me them, I'd never really listened to them much. I was very pleasantly surprised by that. There was so much variation on that album.
They are they're such a good hardcore band because they find a way of transcending hardcore and touching on all these other styles and stuff, but still sounding like a straight up hardcore band.
Yeah.
I love that. The riffs are so fun. They got so much energy. I love his
The
voice.
playfulness in that album, in the music, it was real groovy and fun, and it wasn't as like tough guy hardcore as I anticipated, which I thought was
okay.
wicked.
Yeah, they've never really been a super tough guy hardcore band. But yeah, I enjoyed that as well. And of course, Trash Bro was great.
Yeah.
I just love his voice so much. It's so great.
They've also just progressed as a band incredibly. Watching some of their stuff on Insta as they're playing live now, I'm like, that'd be a fun show.
Yeah, for
That's probably
sure.
a good time.
Definitely. What was your favourite album from September? Let us know in the comments below.
Gay, did you listen to any of the albums? No, just the stuff.
No. What song did you listen to basically all of October?
Look, I've been stuck still on Justin Bieber.
Stay.
And I'm pretty sure that was like before September, was it?
No, that was September.
No, that was September. Early
okay.
September.
So ever since
Yeah.
September, I've only listened to one song.
He's just lost all concept of time because he's just listening to stay and repeat. You did go through a Swaco moment as well.
I did.
Paralysed.
I did.
We didn't react to that. We missed that one.
We didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
That's
We
okay.
let you
I
down.
didn't hear. He introduced me to it. I didn't know that song. He's like, I've been listening to this song a lot and played it. I like it, but yeah, we didn't check it out.
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk October.
Let's go.
I told you not to do that, and then I did it.
Yeah, right in front of the mic.
There's been some big ones, and these ones we've been waiting for a long time. I'm going to start with one that was supposed to be September and ended up coming out here, and that was Don Brocco. That was supposed to be a September 20 whatever release, and they end up having to push it back to October, and it only came out last week.
And the poor dudes are still waiting on their actual physical copies to
Yeah.
come through, like vinyl CD.
Yeah.
It's all been like reprinted wrong and fucked up. And,
Yeah.
oh man, it sucks for them.
But God, album bangs.
It's so fun.
It's so fun.
It's so different to the last album.
I didn't listen to the last album because I wasn't accepting of them then. Because
Yeah, that's because he was a bad friend.
I was the best friend. I
Yeah.
wasn't wanting it.
We've been through this. I can't blame you for not trusting me.
Yeah.
Like,
You've let me down so many times.
Yeah.
No, it was something that when it came out, when you were into it, I just wasn't wanting that style of music as much. Whereas I think, and the beauty of doing the breakdown now is because we're opening ourselves up more and more to so many different varieties, and I'm invested in that one thing at that one time, rather than being like, I really just want to listen to heavy music today. I'm going into them being like, what are we reacting to? Like, this is a fun thing. So I feel like I'm opening myself up to songs that I wouldn't necessarily do.
yeah, and I feel like as well, like, so if you said to me, or Guy said to me, oh dude, check this song out, you're going to love it. The first thing I'm going to do, most of the time, because I'm a good friend, is I'm going to go right away and check that out. But I might be putting it on when I'm not in the mood for whatever it is.
Exactly.
And that initial reaction can completely fuck up how you would receive it any other time.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened with Don Brocco to almost everyone I showed them to, because they're so different and so quirky.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason for me loving them so much as well is because I stumbled over them by accident. And
Because they were just laying on the ground.
yes, and I tripped
Right,
right on him,
watching
and I
it.
landed on top of him, and I was just like, wow, Rob, you're very handsome. Look at that jawline.
Of course you were.
Yeah. Anyway, and I think also because one of the first times I saw them was I saw one of their film clips for Greatness.
Yeah.
And it was just a really good, fun,
Great.
violent, greatness. Yeah, it was just really cool. And I was watching it with the kids, and they enjoyed it, and we all kind of got into it together. And then I was like, oh, this band is like just really something we can all vibe with together, which is cool. Yeah, I just love how quirky they are and how different they are.
Yeah, and the whole album the production on it is phenomenal. Their
guitars sound...
is so big.
Yes.
I'm
I'm
so
a
big.
little bit chunky. That's a lot of bit chunky.
Do you have a favourite track?
I like Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis.
Who doesn't love Bruce Willis?
Yeah, he's great. Die Hard's also the best Christmas movie ever. It is a Christmas movie, changed my mind. Bruce Willis is great. I love One True Prince.
One True Prince is still my standout. Did you listen to the orchestral?
I did.
Oh man, that thing bangs.
Amazing.
Also really cool seeing them actually hit the notes live. Like watching, what's the lead singer's name? Rob. Hit that key change.
Yeah.
Impressive. Hit it
Yeah.
live. But yeah, having the strings just added that extra dynamic. I thought that song was wicked.
Fun fact. So since we did our last reaction for Endorphins, and we had touched on the fact that Manchester Super Reds was probably not our most favourite of the songs.
Yeah.
Since going back, and a lot of people said, oh, it's actually about online bullying. So I actually took that and I went and checked out...
Thank you.
my phone's just vibrating
You can make
straight
this
through the
up,
table. I actually went back and read the lyrics and stuff and paid more attention to it, and it's bumped that song up heaps for me.
Yeah, okay.
And especially because the chorus is so strong. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
it's catchy, but I
the
think
riff.
maybe it was to do with, again, first interaction with that band, and
Yeah.
I still had my pre-existing thought pattern around that.
Yeah.
And the name of it alone, it's about a man, that just threw me too much.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
not that it's not that I dislike the song, it's just my least favourite that they've released off the new album.
Yeah, exactly. And like, let's be real, Manchester United are a fucking scumbag football team.
Dem's fighting words, I don't care, I don't watch sport.
Sports ball, man, get into it. It's good fun.
I like fitness, but not sports. Watching.
Fitness fist in your mouth.
Right, mate. Alright, what's next?
Wage War. Wage War was huge for me because you know how disappointed I was in the last album. Not super disappointed, like I didn't cry in my bedroom about it.
He cried just in the street.
I'm just eating French fries. That album was just fucking huge. It was
also
so heavy.
Don't you think it came out of nowhere?
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere. Like,
Yeah.
it's in the release, here's a single, boom, album. And yeah, the whole thing was a huge step up in terms of the aggression.
Yeah.
Death Row?
Dude.
So heavy.
One of the heaviest tracks, most unexpectedly heavy tracks of the year.
Yeah,
And it was
100%.
so well done. But just the sonic elements that they've put throughout that song and the whole
Tails,
album.
Knuckles, Dr. Robotnik, just heaps of Sonic elements.
Ah, nice.
Thanks.
Hey, I recently rewatched that Sonic movie with Jim Carrey. Dude, it's so good.
It's actually amazing. Also,
It's so
James Marsden,
Marsden, yeah.
he's pretty good at that.
Cyclops.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. He was
Okay.
shit at Cyclops. But
He was a bit of a bitch, wasn't he?
he's such a bitch. He's supposed to be like the leader of the X-Men, and then he's just like,
Oh, my love. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do it. The Wolverine's gonna take her.
he's doing this because he can't sleep.
Oh, sorry.
My red glasses. But you know what they say? Bros before. Anyway, what was your favourite track off the Wage War one?
Death Roll.
Yeah, for sure.
Death Roll, or what was the track that's before that? I've got a phone. I can do some.
You can do some
looking up.
research. I really liked Manic. I thought that was cool.
That was sick, and it was very unexpected.
It's hard to pick a favourite one from that. Again, this is one of those albums that like I loved but haven't been able
Godspeed.
to...
I also
Ah,
like
yeah.
Godspeed a lot.
I haven't been able to listen to it heaps. I listen to these albums when I go on my ride because usually I can finish a whole album in that time. But then, you know, podcasts come out and I want to listen to podcasts as well.
I've stopped listening to podcasts.
Really?
Yeah, I've not been listening to as many. I've been listening to audiobooks or music because there's been so much good music.
You guys better start listening to more podcasts.
Just one.
Just this one. Yeah.
Just one.
When we do it.
Let's move on to Ice Nine Kills. This is something that we talked about when we first reacted to them. That I was like, I don't know how it would fit with all of their elements that they put in, like the horror show movie elements. I was like, I don't know how that would go in the album sense. Sick.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
great.
like it.
Yeah, it's a good album.
Yeah,
It's heavier.
it is.
The one with
way
Corpse
heavier.
Grinder. What's his name from Cannibal
Take your
Corpse?
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like a straight up deathcore song.
yeah.
It's heavy as hell, man.
Same as The Box with Brandon and Ryan Kirby
Yeah.
from
Fit for a
King.
King.
Thank you.
Very good.
Also, Fly with Buddy Nelson. Sense of Fail. That's I think my favorite song on the album.
Really?
Yeah, I loved that song.
Okay.
I thought that was sick. Whole thing was actually amazing. I was like really, really impressed with it. Way more than I thought I would be, purely because we hadn't delved into them enough, or I hadn't delved into enough.
I think we've kind of got used to what they do now as well.
Yeah, that theatrical vocal I actually really like from them.
Mm.
It also reminds me of a heavier. Did you ever listen to Set It Off?
Nope.
They were like, I don't want to say pop punk, but they were a lot more pop influence, like heavier alternative rock.
Okay.
Alternative?
Alternative.
Wait,
yeah.
alternative. I just can't
No,
pronounce
it's a
things.
new genre. You've just made it up. Yeah, it's just that it existed.
Yeah,
back
that's
then,
right. That's right. Like that, like the very theatrical, almost musical style vocals.
Yeah.
but over heaviness.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I thought that was sick. But yeah, that Fly song is probably my favorite on the album.
The vocals, like we've talked about Spencer's vocals every single time we've done a reaction to him. He's such a talented vocalist.
Insane.
But I also realise how much, and I've watched a few live clips of them since they've been doing the festivals and that recently. Just the backing vocalist, I believe it's Dan that
The
does
whole
a lot
band
of,
is phenomenal.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Like the guitar work is so good. They're just, yeah, they're really, really good. And now that I'm like sort of more acquainted with the whole, oh yeah, I know they're going to do some quirky sort of horror movie ripoff, and I listen to it for that, I'm much more,
Embracing of it.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Plus the film clips are fucking rad. The film clips are so good.
I want to move on from horror here and talk about just the straight up horror. Is that my phone going off? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's my Whoop detecting my sleep from last night.
It thinks you're asleep now. Are you that bored of me already?
My heart rate is dropping and dropping. Void of Vision. They've just dropped Chronicles 1 Lust.
Aussie lads.
Aussie lads dropping an EP, which I'm hoping is the start of a series. If it's like the 7 Deadly Sins, hot damn.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, I
I
might
didn't
be
think of that.
looking at it too much. But
It's
yeah,
almost like I'm an idiot.
almost. That's album just bangs. The EP is so heavy
Oh, it's so
and
heavy.
so dark.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I think they've progressed as a band super, super well.
Yeah, new style, like for, well, not really a new style, but just embracing a lot of other elements, which is really good.
Yeah.
And I like how they're kind of, like as much as we love, like, you know, Parkway, North Lane, Polaris, Thornhill, I like how they're kind of like just, you know, their trajectory is just going off a little bit. They're going in a little bit of a different direction.
Yeah.
And it's great because they still fit in with all those bands and they're still part of that scene, but they're also kind of got their own little space in the scene that no one is kind of similar to.
That album was produced by the guitarist Northlane as well.
Yeah, someone said that in the
produced EP.
comments.
Yeah. So
Love
he's been
that.
doing a lot. He also did some stuff for Make Them Suffer. I think he might be managing them even.
Okay.
of late. So, yeah, branching out and doing good things. But
He's managed to do a really good job.
yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't like it, but I'll allow it.
McGee's currently...
I hate it. I'm sorry, I'm breaking silence. I hate it.
Yeah, it worked. Well, by the way, we've got McGee in the house today.
Producer McGee. Yeah.
Producer McGee. Yeah, we've actually, because we've got several camera angles, as you can see, we've got Guy running the show on the back end of things.
Thanks, Guy.
Guy does most of our edits for us, so he's here in person to
And now he has to listen to
understand
it.
how bad it is dealing with John.
Yeah, the worst part is he's going to have to listen to it like 3 more times while he cuts all the cameras together.
That's not the way it works.
Sorry, buddy.
Shows how little he understands it.
You have to listen to all 3 things and then put them all together.
Anyway, can we talk about another album that's just come out in October?
As long as it's radical.
It's pretty radical, bro. Give us a shuckers. Everybody do a shuckers at home. Sitting in the lounge room, his partner's walking in going, what the fuck are you doing?
Every Time I Die, I dropped radical after a long, long time.
So long, but man, it was so worth the wait. It's so fucking...
It was worth the wait.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's so good.
Oh. We also didn't talk about Plotting You. That dropped. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Yeah,
It's so good, man.
it's phenomenal. From
Like-
start to finish, long too. Way longer than I expected.
Yeah, 16 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the timestamp? 51 minutes. So almost an hour.
That's
Which
good
is
for a hardcore band because most of the songs are around the 2 minute 30.
100%. Most of the bands in that genre would go for like maybe 40 minutes max. So
Oh,
yeah,
Max,
51 minutes.
most that sort of
My
fast.
name's Nathan. Don't call me Max.
But you're such a good boy. Yeah, most people.
No, I got it. Yeah.
You thought the jokes were getting better.
No, I didn't. Yeah, that album was incredible. They've managed to go more serious and more party at the same time.
Yes.
As in the changes in not only the context of the songs and the subject matter,
Yeah.
but also in the delivery.
Well, the last album was super dark.
Super dark.
And as much as it was a great album, the thing that really drew me into Every Time I Die when I first heard them was that sort of party edge, that rock and roll edge. Like, they're the reason that...
They
like,
had everything that you didn't in your life. Because
Well, that's
Johnny No Party.
Exactly. That's an old name that's coming back. That's the reason that, I started Either Hunter, and that's the
Yeah.
reason we sounded the way we did. It's because there weren't any other real... there was a couple, obviously, like back then. There was like Fight Paris and I guess to an extent He's Legend. They had the vibe, but it wasn't as
Their early stuff.
fun. But they had that vibe. It's like you can be a hardcore band and be heavy as shit, but you can be funny. You can make tongue-in-cheek
Yeah.
lyrics. You can have funny metaphors and funny lines. Like
Euphemisms, if you will.
yeah, you can have rock and roll choruses,
Yeah.
rock and roll riffs and southern edges, but you can still be a hardcore punk band.
Yeah.
And so that was one thing with the last album that I did miss. Now, I get it. I get why the subject matter was so dark. Like, Keith had gone through almost losing his wife and daughter. Hectic.
Yeah.
Hectic. But I am glad that a bit of that fun's come back because, man, like songs like Post-Boredom and White... Guilt? Wait, White Void?
Yeah. What about Sex XX?
Oh, fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
The opening track just
how about the song?
starts heavy. I think you... No,
Okay. No.
The eye contact made it so much worse. Dark Distance. Dark Distance starts so heavy.
It's so heavy.
So hard. I was like, oh, I didn't expect this.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And track for me, like we said, we reacted to it recently, but Thing with Feathers. That's a standout track for me on that album. So different from everything else.
Yeah.
So stand out that way. But also it's just a phenomenal song.
It's just a great song.
Yeah.
Like, this is a band that, like, they've had melodic elements the whole time. They've had big choruses, super catchy stuff, fun stuff. But, man, this is a band that's just written as close to a heart-wrenching ballad as they'll ever write.
Yeah.
But still sounds like them. And it's done so well. Andy's voice was just a great addition to that song.
Yeah.
It was just
Which
so
made
good.
me actually go back and listen to more Manchester Orchestra since then too.
Yeah, I need to do that as well. So, yeah, let's do a quick track by track. Just a quick one because we love this album so much. I reckon this is the album of the year for me so far.
Oh, big call.
Yeah, I think it's just taken over Era.
Okay.
And only for the simple fact that I've waited so long, and Every Time I Die, as you know, and as most people know now, is in my top 2 bands, Thrice and Every Time I Die. It was such an important thing for me to have this album be just perfect. And it was perfect.
The fact that like we were expecting this to drop last year. We expected to drop. We were supposed to see them in July of 2020.
Yeah.
And we expected to have dropped before then. For them to hold off this long and it not be a letdown is a testament to how good the songs are. Because you can think of that and be like, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be great. Can't wait. And then you've had to
look. Whatever they released was always going to be good because they've got their sound, they've got their formula, and they are a band that is super creative, especially riff wise. The thing for me is that I've been slamming this album in the car, and Dustin, like my son, is so into it. He's loving it. He's like,
cool.
This is great. This is cool. And he'd never really sort of grabbed onto them before. And I was like, this is the band that we were supposed to see with Parkway Drive. And he's like, I hope that they play with them next time. And I'm like, me too, buddy.
I understand why people don't grab hold of them initially, as opposed to, particularly for Dustin, who likes heavy stuff, but more of the cleaner Parkway metalcore vibes.
Yes.
They're
quite
a lot
abrasive.
more abrasive and chaotic, and even vocally not as intelligible in times.
Yep. Time signatures are all over the place.
100%.
It's
even
very
the riffs.
manic.
The riffs are very dirty at times and very fast. And
I know, for some of my friends that aren't into it, it's because of the southern element. They don't like the southern sort of sound.
Even though they're from Buffalo.
Yeah, they don't just dig that sort of style, which is fair enough. I loved the second song, Sly. I loved that clean vocal bit,
the melody in it is phenomenal through the whole thing. Same as on
that kind of reminded me of
Architecture.
in Sly, that clean vocal reminded me of Surge from System of a Down, and just the way they did it.
Yeah, I could hear that.
It's almost like circusy in a way.
Same as AWOL. AWOL had a bit of that sort of vibe in it as
for
well.
Sure.
Obviously, we've checked out Colossal Wreck and Desperate Pleasures. Desperate Pleasures one as well is a very different sort of song for them. Like that rolling.
It fits super well in the album, but
it does.
That's the best
when
thing
it
about
first came out, that song was like, oh, this is very different for them.
Yeah.
All This and War.
With old mate from the Chariot. Yeah, 68. Yeah. It's good hearing him go back to that Chariot style vocal.
Because they've got a lot more rock and roll with 68.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was sick. I really liked that.
That was really cool.
You touched on White Void and with Sex. The end of the album, it is long. The last two tracks, People Versus and We Go Together, blended a little bit for me. Listening to them a few times, I was like, obviously you can hear the lyrics and We Go Together because it says it so many times, but the timing around then, I sort of lose track of which song I'm listening to.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same, but I mean, because you go a few tracks earlier, after the rockiness of White Void, Distress Rehearsal, that breakdown in that song is
heavy.
So good.
Yeah.
And then I think that they sort of taper off into a little bit of the sort of stranger stuff, and I think it was maybe a conscious decision to have those two songs
back to
back because it kind of, the album sort of flows out in a different sort of way than it came in.
Which works really well if you listen to it on repeat, because it flows out of that straight back into the heaviness of the first track. So it does work that way, but that's my only brief feedback was towards the end of the album, I went a bit what song is this one? Where's the difference between these two as much, apart from the lyrics?
Yeah, it's as close to a 10 out of 10 album as they could do for me. It's already in my top 3 Every Time I Die albums.
Big Dirty number 1?
Big Dirty, and From Parts Unknown is my favourite.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it actually knocked Big Dirty off after listens because I think it was like the Big Dirty. It had all that playfulness, all that fun, but it went just way more crazy and way more creative and way more intense.
Yeah, okay.
So it was FPU, Big Dirty, and then and the Big Dirty is mostly a nostalgia thing because even though I loved the first 2 albums, that when the Big Dirty came out, I think they were touring a lot. They'd come here a few times, and
The Big Dirty's the album that got me into them.
Yeah, and everyone was just vibing it so hard.
Yeah. I went back to Gutter Phenomenon later on. Phenomenon. Get out, Phenomenon. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue. Yeah, I went back to that later on, and it grew to love it, but it was the Big Dirty that got me into them.
Yeah, for sure.
We didn't touch on Plot and You. I want to talk about that.
Talk about Plot.
It was sick.
Done! Moving on now!
Moving on.
Did someone say merch? Oh boy, have we got you covered. Plenty of styles to choose from, and ooh, or ooh. He is going to do great things, but more importantly, ooh,
Purple's a fruit.
ooh.
Oh, yellow.
You know what? Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I won't put you through that much more. No, you blew it. Turn around. That's the important part. Alright, last thing.
Slap it at ass.
Plenty of options. Check out the link down below, and thank you for supporting the channel.
We love you.
The thing with plot for me with it was unexpected was how well produced it was, considering Lander did most of it himself.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. His vocals, obviously we talked about those in every reaction, but are standout. But the fact that musically he's also so heavily contributing towards that.
Yeah, 100%. He's super talented.
Yeah.
Like,
not as heavy as people wanted, but I think it still had moments.
well, the heavy moments were actually heavier than the ones on the last album.
What was the last album called?
Dispose.
Dispose. It's on your chest. It's literally right there. Yeah, yeah. I try not to look at your chest too much.
Yeah, you don't want to be shown up, do you? I think I just lactated. So, of all the songs on that album, Nathan, would you say that you paradig 'em?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Would you say that you paradig 'em?
I paradig them all. Yeah, 100%. There was a lot of songs that I liked.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a favourite. This was an album that I only listened to a few times through. So
Yeah, I got to give it
I'm
more
not
time.
necessarily like familiar with the tracks to be like, I love this track here. But there wasn't a single song I didn't like.
No, I didn't dislike anything on the album as well. I just...
Paradig all.
I do paradig 'em all.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned they want merch with paradig 'em on it, and they said that they would buy so many of those shirts. I mean,
You don't really need one.
yeah, how many paradig 'em shirts you need?
Unless you're going to cut the sleeves off.
Oh, yeah.
That's because that's what this
Or
was.
crop it. You love the crops.
Love a crop.
I don't, because it's kind of like you've tried to turn a cupcake upside down and put a little tiny t-shirt
A
on
little
it.
muffin top.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cute.
It is big. Well, I mean, I don't know, it's cute. It's something.
It's definitely
Hey, you know what other album came out in September, while we're quickly going back, that I'm not sure if you listened to the whole thing, was the Axty album. Our friends from Brazil. We were
there. Oh,
introduced.
yes. I did listen to that album.
It's so fucking good, man.
Yeah, those guys are phenomenal.
Criminally underrated. Go check him out, because that was great.
Yeah.
Again, his transition between clean and heavy, the melodic moments and the heavy drops on that album was so well done.
The heavy moments were unexpected for me. Obviously, there were some few heavy moments on the tracks we listened to, but they were super heavy. You're right, his range are phenomenal. Same as Idler. Idler is an album. Miguel, you listen to that album?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
That is my running album.
Wow, you took a break between Swayco and Sway to give that one a listen.
Yeah, no, he is amazing to me.
Yeah, Andrew Wells' vocals are insane. I actually listened to him on Lead Singer Syndrome, and it was super interesting hearing a bit more about him and his background, obviously across Dance Gavin Dance and then Idler. But yeah, that album is phenomenal. I love it, the whole thing. His vocals are incredible.
They are.
You were wanting to say something dumb then.
No, I was just enjoying how much you enjoyed it.
Yeah, phenomenal.
I love it so much.
Because that's a band that we discovered on the channel too. We never really listened to, and yeah,
We've had
amazing.
a few. Like I've listed down a few that either one of us or both of us have discovered over the last sort of month or so doing this. Like we've had No Bragging Rights, Between You and Me, Mastodon, Youth Fountain, Like Pacific, Our Promise, our new friend David Lyne with his ripping instrumental,
Driveways.
Deficit, the boys from down in Sydney,
Yep.
Driveways, of course.
Yeah.
Man, there's been so many cool like bands and songs that we've been introduced through this channel. It's been so sick.
The cool thing as well is that we're having more of a chance to actually sit, and the stuff we've sent to each other before. We've talked about this before. The whole purpose of this podcast, the breakdown was because Johnny and I used to just like send each other music every day and talk about whatever just coming out, or what albums are coming out, what tours are coming out, and we're like, we could just do this on camera because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's probably made it a more enjoyable experience because rather than being like, what do you think of that song I played you? And you're like, yeah, it was sick. We can actually go through and experience it together and
together and talk about
so
it.
like bands that one of us didn't know that we get to share with the other one. That's sick. Like
for
said
sure.
before, Turnstile. I hadn't listened to them much, and you were like,
Yeah, well, Dragged Under was another one that I showed you that
Yep.
have really stepped up.
Yeah.
Especially with that song they did with Spencer from Under Oath.
That song's so
It
fun.
was so fun.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And while we're talking about Spencer from Under Oath, great to have them back, but also let's talk about his like little feature on Matt Cutshall's.
So good. Tommy's bass? Yeah.
It's so good. That was so fun, man.
I hope that we see more from, was it Your Broken Hero, Matt Cutshall?
We will.
that has to be an album. Like, if they release an album,
Yeah.
because his merch is so good,
Yeah.
and they're killing it with that. I would love to see more of that. I heard this one. This is old merch, but yeah, the new stuff's even better. Cool seeing them do something there because emo is not dead. It's having this massive resurgence. We've seen a lot of bands come back out with that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
I'm gonna start wearing black eyeliner again and screaming in girls' ears.
Oh my gosh, if you don't do that, I'll be so disappointed.
You keep setting me up to do all this dumb shit on the channel.
You just said that. That was your call.
Yeah, but
I'm
the
gonna
other
do
stuff, yeah. But I do remember I said, like, once my Instagram hit 2,000 followers, I'd get the Paul Rudd slap at a bass. And I'm like, it's not going to hit that. No one wants to see me. It's like, I think about like 80 people away from that now. So it looks
Great.
like I'm going to have to spend my summer getting a Paul Rudd tattoo.
The whole summer. It's a full back piece.
I'm going to tattoo my entire body to look like Paul Rudd.
Okay, sure, yeah.
I'll be wearing his face.
What character?
Slap at a bass, man.
Okay, sure.
I feel like if I was to do Ant-Man, then I'd have to tattoo the whole
That's what I want to see.
costume on
and
me.
the helmet, so your face is covered.
That'd be great.
It would be so good for
I'd be
everyone.
doing Ant-Man a terrible injustice.
Yeah.
That's my thing, man.
Yeah, it's just, you shrunk the wrong part down.
There was something I was going to say then before that. Before you said the Paul Rudd thing. Which is going to piss me off now.
Was it about Paul Rudd?
No. Oh, well.
So it definitely wasn't I love you, man.
Yeah, I'm never going to say that.
Okay.
No.
That was worth a try.
No. Oh, it's about the donations. Actually, that is a thing. I want to say thank you to everyone that has contributed and donated to this because that's how we were able to get the extra funding to buy neons and make this a little bit more of a thing.
Special shout out to the person who donated and said, money for Nath's small coffee.
Which I didn't get.
No, I used it and bought myself a large.
Yeah, but it is really nice. And I love seeing people who are actually donating, one, saying like, hey, thanks for the entertainment, whatever, because that is really great and it's super appreciated. But people who are like donating and saying, hey, I'd love for you to check out this band I really love, or thanks for this song in particular. I love that because it shows that people, like, majority of the audience are watching every video now, which is sick. They're not just watching the heavy stuff. We've got people who are open to whatever we're sharing with them.
Yeah.
And that's fucking sick. I love that.
Also, just completely don't understand it. But anyway, it's still great. You know what's rad is that when bands that we check out wear our merch, we had a virus from the UK purchase some of our merch, and we've recently seen the boys in Driveway repping some of our merch.
Jake from August Burns Reds repping some
purchased
breakout stuff
some.
at the
That's so
moment.
fucking rad.
Yeah, it's cool
So
seeing. I don't know. And like merch stuff is we're always open to doing more and adding stuff as long as it's makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. If you've got ideas, please let us know what you would like to see. Quickly before we go, we've been in lockdown, so I feel like we might not touch on movies and TV shows all the time.
Oh, we could talk about that.
We could. People have asked for it.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing because it's October, I've been doing the 31 Days of Halloween challenge.
Yeah,
which
I've been
is
doing the 31 days of not Halloween. It's been sick.
Yeah, you've actually been doing that for your whole life, and you've nailed it.
33 years of
Hey,
Halloween.
but before I go back to that, remember when we did that little post about would people like to see you react to a horror movie with me?
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
Oh, because pretty much everyone on my Instagram voted for it, and they chose
All 32
They chose. Just twist it, going. Yeah, and they're all just your family.
We lose my family though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, your mum does treat me like a son. She's very lovely.
She is.
And people had chosen the remakes of It, so we will look at doing that at some point.
Yeah,
it will
just
be
figure out
fun.
a way to do that.
For sure. But yeah, I've been doing the 31 Days of Halloween challenge, which is essentially where I need to pick a horror movie every day that I've never seen.
Oh, you're only doing ones you haven't seen?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, it's got to be one you haven't seen. And the thing is, the hard part, especially with horror movie, because there's so many shitty fucking cheapo B-grade ones, and they reel you in with like a good cover, but then it turns out to be real B-grade and terrible. But once you put it on, you have to sit through it.
Okay.
You have to commit to it. So that's been really
I'm
fun.
impressed you've watched a movie a day.
There has been one or two that I've missed for whatever reason, like if I've had the kid and stuff like that and I've been super busy, but then I just make up for it by doing 2 the next day. So I spent a lot of time in front of the couch.
Yeah, we can
in front of the couch? Yeah, just sit there looking at the couch. TV behind me.
I wish I could sit up there.
So yeah, I've really been enjoying that. What have you been watching?
I have not committed much time to movies. In the last period, I watched Black Widow.
It was good.
Yep, I liked that. I watched Jungle Cruise.
I didn't get to see that. Was it good?
Yeah, it's
Was The Rock
essentially
just The Rock doing The Rock?
Yeah,
I mean,
always.
awesome.
No, but it's essentially like Pirates of the Caribbean, but in the jungle. Okay. That sort of vibe. And they've already announced they're doing sequels. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. You get what you expect. If you expect The Rock being The Rock, you're going to love it.
Yeah. He's pretty hard to dislike.
100%.
And also, if you dislike him, he'll literally just turn you into pink mist.
I don't think he'd care. It's good enough other people to
yeah,
love
that's
him.
true. I really wish that Johnny dude liked all my movies. You know, that guy with 37 Instagram followers.
32.
Thanks, bro.
I liked the Shang-Chi. I went and saw Shang-Chi. Yeah, I went and saw it at the movies.
Oh, I'm so keen to watch that.
That was phenomenal. That was actually one of the best Marvel movies I've seen in a long time. So, love
when they sort of described it as it was going to be basically like Marvel's take on Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon, I was like, your boy is in. Because I grew up watching Bruce Lee movies and I do like a martial arts movie.
Yeah, it was really well done. And I think they've done a really great job of bringing a full backstory in, relating to everything else, bring him in an entertaining, fun way. And Marvel has really done the comedy, serious things super well.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
Suicide Squad?
Yeah. I also watched Suicide Squad. I don't think I'm going to say amazing, but hella better than the first one.
So much better than the first. It screamed James Gunn.
Yeah, 100%. And that's exactly it. It was like watching Guardians of the Galaxy with different characters.
And way more gratuitous violence. Remember that time I said gratuitous?
Hey, paradigm.
That was great. Did you watch Squid Game? Have you checked out Squid Game?
No, I don't have enough time to watch TV.
Yeah.
I watch one TV show at the moment, and it's taken me very long to watch it. But yeah, Court and I are watching... What are we watching?
Blind Spot.
Blind Spot.
Oh.
McGee knows.
Thanks, McGee.
Yeah, Blind Spot. Have you seen that on Netflix?
No, I have. I've seen it there. I haven't watched it.
It's about a duffel bag that rocks up in New York, and then a girl gets out of it, covered in tattoos, and it's like addressed to the FBI, and then her tattoos like help them solve crimes, essentially.
Sick.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. It has the Lady Sif from Thor.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's the lead actress in it.
Yeah, cool.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah, I probably would have started watching Squid Game because I love Asian films or series like that. They're really good. But yeah, because I was doing the 31 days of Halloween.
I also feel like it was too hyped and I just wasn't there at the time.
Well, see, the thing is, everyone sort of hyped it, and I'm just like, well, this is people that haven't watched much Korean or Japanese film or TV, because Alice in Borderland came out, I think it was last year, and it was essentially kind of similar. It was basically like escape room.
I heard a lot of people raving
done through the whole city of Tokyo.
Yeah,
and it was really cool. But yeah, I will check it out eventually. So everyone keeps saying, have you watched Squid Game yet? Have you watched Squid Game yet?
I love that everyone sounds like you now.
They do.
Oh,
yes.
have
you? Yeah. Why are you such an idiot?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just let me live my fucking life.
Let us know what you want to hear us talk about here, because we can kind of go into more depth on albums if you'd like that. We can properly do... We didn't prepare for this. Johnny wrote some notes just then, but we didn't really sit down because we wanted to wing it and have fun with it. But if you guys want to see more of the actual in-depth track-by-track breakdown, full analysis of songs like we do for the breakdown.
Yeah, but doing those album tracks and stuff. I think the thing that we're a little bit conscious of at the moment is you guys getting sick of us, because what have we been shooting for now, 45 minutes or something?
Also, the time it takes to film, edit when this isn't monetized.
Absolutely.
It's a big thing to give us time to actually put into it.
Yeah, you guys let us know what you want. If you're enjoying it, if you like this sort of thing, let us know. It will become a little bit more structured. We do plan on having things like guests, friends, musicians, that sort of stuff along the way. We've already got a couple sort of in the works that we're planning on doing, but we hope you enjoyed this. We hope that we didn't annoy you. I hope that I didn't annoy you while you watched Nathan sit through that.
You did.
Did I annoy you?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Also,
Maggie, did I annoy you?
No. I'm used to
it. You're over it by now.
It's
expected.
It's like everyone that watches us now is just maybe we just put up with him for a bit longer and we'll get to the point with Nathan and McGee where we can just kind of just ignore him.
You're just fun to tease. You're too easy to tease. That's the problem.
I still send you messages saying I hate you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did yesterday.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Just randomly though. It was nothing that wasn't even
I said,
video.
no you don't. And you were like, no I do. And I was like, yeah, okay. I'll accept that. Anyway.
Take what we can get.
Yeah.
It's attention in some way. Thank you so much for watching. We love you. We think you're incredible. You were going to do...
Great things.
It's an idiot.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
The great thing is...